If you're a woman that goes into the gym and you ask yourself, why don't I get approached by these men? The reason why you are not getting approached is because these men see you as a woman with high value. If you are not getting approached in a place where everyone's breaking their necks to stare at you, they know that if they approach you, you will hurt their ego. And they know that you are better than them. Men can sense if a woman is better than them, and that intimidates them. That just makes them scared. And personally, I take this as a compliment if I'm out in public getting a lot of stares.
Sweetheart here has an inflated ego, and she's coping with the fact that the men she wants are not approaching her. Maybe those guys don't want to end up in a TikTok video getting labeled as creepy. Or maybe you're not as attractive as the simps in your DMs would like you to believe. Fellas, the solipsism in the modern woman is beyond delusional. She's saying exactly what a narcissist would say to protect their egotistical, grandiose self-pride. If you don't approach me, that's because I'm better than you. Fellas, let's use that same logic. If she rejects you, it's because you're so handsome that she's afraid to even attempt a relationship with your alpha Adonis ass. See, anyone can come up with logic that stretches further than Dawson in a limo. She'd rate herself a 10, even though she's an average at best modern-day bimbo. Women play theyself by creating these games. You think they work for Nintendo. Approaching is creepy. It's unwanted attention. And men got the memo.
Cold approaching scares the shit out of people. And why wouldn't it? Because the narrative is, you're an average man, you could potentially get a harassment suit levied against you. Just because you are awkward and you did like a girl and you did want to say hello, but you said it in the wrong way and she thought you were a creep, and now all of a sudden it's strong, empowered boss babe about to get your ass in court. Hell, it's violence to misgender somebody today.
Contemporary women often feel frustrated when the men they are interested in don't reciprocate that interest. It boils down to the simplicity of men needing more motivation to engage in social interactions. In their perspective, avoiding potential complications in the future seems like a more straightforward choice. If men are not interested, initiating conversations may seem pointless to them. Generally, men don't actively seek female friends or initiate conversations with women without a specific reason. Additionally, there's the concern that a man simply talking to a woman might be perceived as creepy, and persistent efforts to secure a date could be labeled as harassment. The distinction between being considered a creep or a catch hinges on a woman's subjective level of attraction. Since each woman has her criteria, men attempting to approach a woman can't predict how she will react to their advances. There's a fear that what may be seen as harmless courting could be interpreted as harassment, leading to potential repercussions such as reporting to authorities, HR, or social media. Some women may also express discomfort when approached in certain settings, and men may not be able to discern if a woman falls into this category. Thus, it becomes easier for men to avoid potential risks and opt for avoidance rather than risking social backlash. The current landscape, marked by corporate dehumanization and objectification, along with the reactive feminist movements in academia and the legal system, has contributed to making traditional courtship and relationships fraught with risks and less appealing. A prevailing trend seems to shift the responsibility onto independent career women to initiate relationships, often with exceedingly high or unrealistic expectations of what a man should embody. Many men are reconsidering the prospect of long-term commitments and marriage due to concerns about family law, as well as the growing prevalence of female anger, intolerance, and materialistic expectations. Consequently, when women muster the courage to make the first move, it's not uncommon for men to exhibit hesitancy or prefer casual arrangements over committed relationships. In this era of capitalist gender politics, I'm beginning to question whether the prevailing norm forces individuals to choose between swipe right, serial anonymous hookups, and remaining single. It's disheartening to witness how financial and capital considerations introduce discouraging obstacles and losses in the dating world, particularly for emotionally mature individuals seeking a spiritual connection and mutual love. This represents just one of the many downsides to living in an elitist and selfish capitalist society.
Men often choose to ignore women in public due to societal conditioning, rather than being inherently rude or weird. Consider it from our perspective. We find ourselves in a challenging situation. If we initiate a conversation, we risk being perceived as attempting to hit on the woman. Even innocent small talk can be easily misinterpreted and twisted into something inappropriate. For instance, a simple greeting like, "Good morning, ma'am," might lead to accusations of assuming someone's gender. Reflecting on an experience, my brother and I were walking when he greeted a woman with a friendly, "Hello." In response, she shot him a disdainful look and promptly informed him, "I have a boyfriend." Many men have learned that the safest and least awkward approach is to minimize unnecessary interactions with women they don't know personally. Engaging otherwise has often led to unpleasant experiences. It's disheartening that ordinary pleasantries seem to have faded, but the reasons behind this shift are easily understood. In the current climate, influenced by movements like Me Too and the Believe Her initiative, where proof may not be necessary, it takes just a woman's assertion of harassment, rape, or abuse for a man to face severe consequences without the need for evidence. Concerned about their careers being jeopardized by false accusations, men are adopting measures to limit unnecessary interactions with women at work whenever possible. Men are taking precautions to ensure they won't be falsely accused of sexual harassment or rape. While acknowledging that not all women engage in such behavior, predicting who might is challenging. It's akin to stepping into a lion's den and attempting to guess whether or not you'll be attacked. Even if a man hasn't done anything wrong, if a woman becomes upset for any reason, she may seek revenge by falsely accusing him of misconduct, a claim that can ruin a man's entire career without the need for proof. Numerous examples exist of innocent men facing punishment and ruined lives due to false accusations by women. Witnessing such instances, other men naturally seek to avoid finding themselves in similar situations to safeguard their well-being. There's a perception that women, in general, lack empathy towards men's suffering, sometimes casting themselves as the primary victims of societal issues, as seen during the pandemic, where men have faced higher mortality rates, yet women often position themselves as the greater victims. Ultimately, there's a prevailing indifference towards men's suffering. Despite instances of sexual harassment affecting men, a surge in male suicides, and elevated rates of male assassinations and deaths, the general response remains apathetic. Consequently, men are left with the choice of taking measures to ensure personal safety and avoiding risks that could lead to life-altering consequences because there's a lack of concern for their well-being. Considering the asymmetrical benefits in relationships favoring women, one might expect women to take a more proactive role in approaching men. If a man perceives a woman as too forward or too masculine when she approaches him, it likely means he wasn't initially attracted to her. Most men would genuinely appreciate it if a woman they found attractive took the initiative. The reluctance, often attributed to various excuses, ultimately boils down to fear. Stripping away the justifications reveals a core fear. While women expect men to overcome their nervousness and make the first move, they often subject them to ridicule for their amusement. It's an experience many men have faced. The prevailing advice is for men to maintain a distance from women and, whenever possible, to record their conversations, reflecting a reality where trust and safety are increasingly elusive. Keep your distance from women and always record your conversations. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership and super chat. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.